Once again, a Merry Christmas to you. It's a Thursday, the 27th of December, the third day of Christmas. But you know, in our country, very peculiar one, that's what we are told, while the rest of the country is Christmasing, it's politicking at the other end. This morning, party supremacy versus the strongman syndrome, party supremacy versus the strongman syndrome. You know, in early 2015, when an amalgam of four parties merged to, contest the election in 2015, political opponents wondered how long or how far the romance was going to last. Okay, other parties still nursing their electoral defeat wondered about the merger. But here we are 4 years into the APC being in control at the center and across the country in states. Strong men have taken over, so to speak. From Imo, we take you to Ogun State, we'll touch Zamfara State, and then of course we leapfrog into Enugu and other states where the APC is trying to hold its own. So how far will the strongman syndrome take the APC with less than 60 days to go to the election? This morning I have two gentlemen who have been following from the sidelines the workings of political parties. Dr. Jide Johnson teaches journalism and he's also a public affairs analyst. Dr. Johnson, I greet you. Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Citizen Juice, and to our esteemed viewers at home, local and international viewers.
All right. Dr. Omadeli Boyo is this time a medical practitioner, but he spares time to discuss national and international politics. So he's a man for the job. I greet you, sir.
Compliments of the season to you, Citizen James, and our viewers at home.
Yeah. Gentlemen, how do we kick off? The strongman syndrome vis-a-vis the APC now.
Yeah, the strongman syndrome has always been in Nigerian politics from the pre-colonial era through independence and post-independence and the 79-83 era. And it has always been, except maybe briefly in 79-83, the MPN was gathered around what we may call some of the elements of the MPC and the NCNC, whereas the UPN was gathered around the action group. But beyond that, even at that time, we had the four cardinal points, and then the MPN was known for its ideology, so we had somebody on the left and somebody on the right, and people came to join them. Babangida tried to set up co-joiners, co-formers, everybody came together, but that did not kill the strongman syndrome. And presently, what we have now is we have political parties without what we can call distinct ideologies. So people could shift from anywhere. And when they shift, they always boast of shifting with their own loyalists. And that's always a problem. So the bane of the current political parties is that they are not formed around ideologies, and the various occupants of political offices always come along with their baggages of people, like you see in Enugu, Zamfara, and even Akwa Ibom and various parts of the country. So the party politics as we know it today is always associated with who. One of them said it was even present, it was even suggested the name of the APC.
Imo man.
Yeah, so
the
as
Imo
if,
strongman.
yeah, as if that should give him the right to determine who gets what in the party. And then we have a strong chairman in the APC who appears to want to correct the ills from what I can see. But I'm sure those on the other side will not agree. But so what we have right now, both within the PDP and the APC, is a strongman syndrome. I agree with you, sir.
It's a typical African problem. We believe in building individuals and not institutions. I'll tell you the advantage that the Christian faith and the Islamic faith has over African traditional religion is documentation. There are institutional ways of doing things. Now, the parties that we have are built around personalities and not around the structure that guides. You know, Dr. Boyu said about ideologies. If you check all the parties, their constitution are almost similar. This is an adaptation. We don't even know which party is the left, which party is the right in terms of ideological lineage.
Or center right,
center left.
as they say.
So that creates a problem when there are organs and there are institutions within the party. And I've said it, that if someone does not have respect for the constitution of the party, which is the platform through which you come to power, if that person gets to power, you will not have constitution you will not have respect for the constitution of Nigeria. And it's very clear from 1999 to date that parties that have operated in Nigeria have not adhered to the constitution of their party.
First of all.
Yeah.
In the first place, the party constitution.
The party constitution. So when they have access to power, how do you expect them to respect the constitution of the country? So that's a critical problem, because if you check the problems you are talking about in these parties, they are institutional problems. They are structural problems. Structural problems in the sense that, in Nigeria, we operate a federal system on paper, but operationally, we operate a unity system. How can you explain that it is the national chairman at Abuja that has the final authority to determine who represent me in my state House of Assembly, who becomes the House of Rep, who becomes the senator, who becomes the governor? I think the national chairman of the party probably should be limited to those that are going to the national level, and those at the state level should be determined by the state. However, that's what is in the constitution. But because they don't respect...
JD, at that point, at the state, who determines what goes in or out at the state level?
It is the state structure. It is the state structure.
As distinct from the national structure?
Exactly. When we go into the nitty-gritty of explaining this strongman syndrome, we begin to state by state, and we see the crisis. The state structure of the party will go this way. The national structure of the party will go this other way. But if this party adhere to the principle, the values of their constitution, I'm sure we won't have this problem which you're having.
Could it also be feudalism? I think we are basically traditionalists, that the Kabiesi syndrome, in which we believe that there's always somebody who shows the light. And in fact, at times you go and look for that person to come into your party so you can win, because that person is what we call heavyweights in our local parlance. So these heavyweights, they're everywhere in the world. But the only problem we have in Nigeria here is other parts of the world, the heavyweight in a particular party is heavyweight with regards to the ideology
of the party.
So if somebody is a conservative, is a heavyweight conservative, people know what it stands for. And so when the party comes into power, it says we know that if this party wins, taxes will go up, and this will go up, and then this will come down. And people now look forward to that party to bring about its color of politics into the whole system. But here what we have is, you go there because of who you are. And when eventually they look at who can win Zamfara State, they say, oh, come, if we pick this man, we'll win Zamfara State. Whether the man believes in the party or not is not the issue. So he's brought in just to win Zamfara State. Like what Dr. Jide said, by the time he gets there, he becomes a king. He doesn't become a governor anymore. He becomes a king. He becomes a Kabiesi. If you remember the interview one time President had with the papers, when he was talking about the strongman of Ibadan then, and he said Ibadan is a garrison, and that there's a garrison commander. And he mentioned one of the local politicians there that people ascribed Amala politics to. And he said, if you get that man, you have won Ibadan. He wasn't saying it in the light of free, fair, and credible elections. He was saying because this man has a way of delivering Ibadan. So these are the basis of the strongman politics, because there are people who can sit in their homes, card reader or not card reader, and it's just the same thing that the Kabiesi syndrome, that these people are kingmakers. These people are kings themselves. And from wherever they are, they can even not be in the country. I know a one-time governor was outside the country. I was in jail outside the country. People went as a Mecca to visit him. And from jail, he determined who will become the next governor. And when they came back, they said, sorry, people started stepping down. So by the time this man calls you, by the time he called you on the phone and said, Baba said, this person said, that became the Baba Wikwe in politics. So you just step down. So we build around, I think we are used to kings, right? Even our elected leaders still collect chieftaincy titles. So you see a president who is a waziri. You see a president who is an Otumba. At the end of the day, you're the president of the country.
And Obong.
And you're the president of the country, and you still kneel down in front of a king to collect a chieftaincy title, and you're the person that gives the staff of office again. So there's contradictions in our system, and I think that's what we are used to. And so we need to reintroduce history.
Has it come to stay?
It has come, well, it can be remembered, it has come to stay principally. If you meet the boys on the street, these are the boys that pull down the banners and tear other people's posters. There was somebody teleguiding them. The local government chairman knows who to report every weekend to survive on the throne. The councillor knows who to go to. So if you want to win an election, there's somebody you go to, he anoints you, and you win. So the party supremacy has been killed by the many KBACs that we have. And that is where we are. That's who we are. We all want kings. Even communities of 2,000 people want a king.
Yeah. Dr. Johnson, let's take you quickly to Imo State. Governor Okorocha insists that the APC chairman stole the mandate of the people.
You see, I think that concerning the primaries that happened in November, I think that our industry did not really help this nation. We did not.
The media, you mean?
Yeah, we did not, because what's the essence of investigative journalism? What's the essence of giving a truthful account of what really happened? Were there primaries? Did the people witness the primaries? Did these primaries take place? Or are they credible? Did people gathered in hotel to write names and what have you concerning the primaries? And we have seen counterclaims and
claims and
counterclaims, and with nobody to validate the claims. Are you with me? You cannot eliminate what happened in Ogun State from that of. I'm just pointing out where the man said that there was no primaries in the state, that the mandate was stolen. You know, today the National Working Committee will announce this candidate, then the next minute they announce two candidates were announced at two different times. Are you getting me? So if indeed, I believe that it's the National Working Committee that shot themselves in the foot, because if you have announced one person, you stick to that person. Yeah. And if there is crisis, you do an open, transparent primaries. And I think the primaries across board were not open,
not just transparent. Yeah, it's still in Ogun State. The Ganduje Reconciliation Committee met with Okorocha and his team.
Imo State, you mean?
In Imo. Governor Okorocha told Governor Ganduje the issues here are irreconcilable. Still the strong man?
Yeah, he's still the strong man issue. He's still the strong man issue. And if you have a reversal of role, if that happens to Ganduje himself, he will say the same thing. You see, Dr. Boyo captured it succinctly when he said the strong man syndrome, the KBAC syndrome. You know, I've said that we shouldn't be calling our governors and president His Excellency. We should call them him. His Imperial Majesty. They operate as emperor. Look, when they go to social functions, when they go, look at the type of seat they used to sit. And look at the type of seat people in other climes sit. There's no seat that would distinguish the president of America from any other person. But in our own, you will see the seat they will give to the governor. It will be like a throne. So it's a mentality, it's a culture. And it's something which we need to change. So it's from state to state, the moment someone assumes the authority, and Dr. Buyo talked about the contradiction, he gives the staff of office to an Oba. So in his mind, he is a kingmaker. Yeah. So the mentality of a king, who gives the staff of office, whereas in Britain, it is the queen that gives the staff of office to the prime minister. Yeah. Are you getting my point? So there are contradictions that we need to reconcile. Until we reconcile those contradictions, every electoral cycle will be having that problem. You know, Akala had that problem. Ladoja had that problem with Adedibu, which he gives you. Ladoja had that problem with Adedibu. Bengadane had it with Obasanjo. You know, we can go on and on and on, and every electoral cycle we keep having the same problem.
All right, let me take Dr. Boyo to Chief Obasanjo's Ogun State. The wahala there was triggered by Senator Amosu himself when he released a list of consensus candidates, independent of the national body and...
Quite interesting, because at the end of the day, he was very confident of himself, and he felt he had Abuja behind him. And that's always a problem again. So here was Amosu, who was a senator, became a governor, wants to go back as a senator. And from the beginning, when you have this anointed thing, that there's somebody already have in mind, it makes nonsense of the principles of primaries. In primaries, it's assumed that you are going to yourself allow people to air their views and vote. And everybody has one vote. Even the sitting governors has only one vote. But the delicate system of the primary is also very dangerous, where you know that commissioners will have votes, where you know that the personal assistant to the governor will have a vote, where you know that these are the accredited voters, in addition to what we call the party faithfuls. Now, there are some votes. It's like when in America they talk about some votes that are bigger than other votes, you know. So these people come to the party primaries, and the governor has somebody in mind. And why does the governor have to have somebody in mind? One, if he leaves without somebody in mind, the next person may turn out to be
a tiger.
The tiger that will kill him. So he has to make sure he has someone. And most of these people, I'm not being specific, I'm not saying most is corrupt. I'm saying that if peradventure you have skeletons in your wardrobe, you want someone that will hold the key to that wardrobe and not allow anybody to see the skeletons. So you're going to now make sure you get somebody behind you. They will say to continue my legacy. At the end of the day, it's not legacy anything. One, you're going to leave your governor's mansion with a pension that will run for all your
forever.
Life. You're going to become a senator. You'll be earning salary with the pension on the former being a senator before you left some money. You come back again as a senator with another money and the pension of being an ex-governor going on there. And this gives you a war chest to fight battles. Why do people become godfathers? You don't become godfathers for nothing. One, you have the money. Two, you have the influence. So when this guy went to Abuja, he came back. It was several to and fro with Abuja that Amosun did. The problem was the party machinery in the state was slipping out of his hands because there's a Southwest caucus of the APC, there's an Ogun caucus of the APC, then there's the Abuja caucus. Now, if you remember the former Minister of Finance that had to leave, the rumors were that she fell out with the governor of the state. That's why it was worked out that the NYC saga and everything was all because he fell out. I remember you still have Segun Shoba factor in Ogun State. No matter how you want to overlook it, you still have all these other people. And the fact that you can move from APC to SDP to PDP tomorrow and continue with your money and with your godfatherism. So what happened in Ogun State was simply Amosun wanting to have his own inner clique. So the party, the same question we're looking at, party supremacy and the godfather factor. The party in the state has to be pocketed by the governor. Once the governor, remember the governor is the leader of the party. Once the governor is able to pocket the party and he leaves, it becomes redundant. So what happened in Ogun State was a governor wanting his own men to be in power, but there was an uproar from the bottom line of the party.
And the last straw was when all those heavyweights he shut out went to Abuja themselves to buy the forms.
Yes.
And so all hell was let loose.
I think, you see what is happening in Ogun State? There is a concept in communication which you talk about, history repeated itself syndrome. What is happening in Ogun State happened before. Gbenga Daniel, Obasanjo, and Gbenga Daniel moving to another party with his candidate, Gbenga Nasiru. So what is happening is peculiar. And I said we don't learn from the past. And like Dr. Boy said, I think we need to bring back history, that people need to learn from history. I think what the governor did not go about its approach to picking the candidates in a democratic way, because they had already picked out a consensus candidate. You could have endorsed somebody and allow them to go through the normal primaries and everything will go. But you know the difference between Gbenga Daniel's experience and that of Amosu is that during Gbenga Daniel's own, the House of Assembly members were not with him. The House of Assembly was shut for almost 7 months. Now, Amosu has control of his House of Assembly members. He has control of the state structure.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
Of the state party machinery, the ESCO at the state level. Like he said, automatically one of the anomalies we have in Nigeria is that the governor becomes the leader of the party. It's an anomaly of Fourth Republic.
Whereas
he should be the chairman.
Yeah, the chairman of the party.
The chairman of the party at the state level should be the leader of the party. It was an anomaly.
The governor up and say, this is outside the ideology of the party. We believe in school free education. Governor, implement free education.
As bad as Second Republic worse in our eyes. We are even seeing that Second Republic is even far better than some of the things we are. Because Adisa Akinloye,
Augustus
as the national chairman, calls a national caucus meeting. Who are you as the minister?
Or as the president?
Who are you as the president not to attend? And these are the structures. And these structures are within the Constitution. I have read the Constitution of I read the Constitution of AD. I read the Constitution of APP. I read the Constitution of PDP. There's no difference. The three parties that contested the election in 1999. And these structures were there. They are there that for the national caucus meeting, which the president of the party, all of them will be there. And there is the state caucus. So as to rein in the administration under the party's authority. And once we don't have that, we create a problem. And that's why, let's look at the case of, like I said, Gbenga Daniel had to leave PDP to go to another party.
SDP.
For his candidate, Gbenga Nasiru, who is even running under another platform today himself, and Gbenga Daniel, they are estranged. And one thing our political class don't learn is that in Akwa Ibom State, the governor that installed the present governor, they are loggerheads. In Kano State, Ganduje was the deputy, Ganduje and Kwankwa. So, if you try so hard to install your successor, the successor knew how you
put him there.
You operated while you were the governor.
And so
now, the moment he becomes the governor, he has to put you out. And they are not learning.
Quickly, Dr. Boye, let's take you to Zamfara State. It started off like this. Senator Sani Yerima, first governor, barred anybody from fielding candidates for any office in the state. Everything had to defer to him. Yes. But then the second crazy angle is the INEC part of the palaver. Yeah. INEC says to Governor Abdulaziz Yari, you cannot present any candidates because you had no primaries.
Yes. And that's because Yari...
So now you are looking at the umpire,
yes,
citing the rule book,
yes,
and the party, the governor, asserting himself as a strong man.
Yes, and that's because, like he said, Yari too wants to become a Yerima. Are you understanding me? Because Yerima, we all know the story of Yerima, from the Sharia stuff to getting married to an underage person to going to Senate and things like that. Yerima is a radical of sorts. And he succeeded by pocketing the party. Now when Yari came into, Yerima had always felt he could control everybody. Yari too wants to become a godfather tomorrow. And the way to become a godfather is to install your people. And back to what Jide said, party structure, party constitution, party ways of doing things. And INEC has the party constitution in its hands. And it says, you didn't do it this way. And they go and say, well, that's how we want to do it. Do your worst. And you find out
So is it wrong to invoke the Electoral Act, the provisions?
That's what INEC should do. But in most cases, some of these parties will do these things, and INEC is also at fault here, allowing last-minute things. By 3 months to the elections, these things should be shorter. You can't go back if you have not gotten anybody off. And if you've done it the wrong way, you are off. And you now can't present anybody for elections. But at the end of the day, sometimes INEC too doesn't want to be seen as gagging any party. Yeah. And so they get to a point where...
Or quote, end quote, rocking the boat.
Rocking it. Get to the point where let's look for a gentleman's way out of this problem. And that's where the problem comes in from. Then when the state chairman begins to fail, the national chairman now begins to have the power to come in because there is what you can call confusion at the state level. Then if federal might, the Abuja people come in now and begin to talk. And when they talk and they find out the governor is the one, at the end of the day, APC gets its money from governors, from ministers and things like that. If a governor closes the tap, the pipe supplying water to you, you're going to be in trouble. We now have to sit down with the governor, and most people believe that governors can can swing the elections. Now, if the governor decides to, that's why if you notice, most of people are waiting. Is it still in APC or is he waiting to see what will happen?
The APC senatorial candidate.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if at the end of the day...
Little in Imo State.
Yeah, little in Imo State. People are like waiting for the what was that Otedola factor in Lagos in those days, where at the end of the day, the SDP had its own internal crisis, and then somebody else had to win.
The NLC,
NLC had to pick Otedola, and Otedola won, even though it wasn't very popular, because the problem within the SDP, Otedola won. So back to Zamfara State, Yeri wants to pocket the party. Yerima will lose out if Yeri pockets the party. INEC is saying, was blowing the whistle, stop. This is not acceptable. And don't forget, Yerima also has powers in Abuja. And Yeri is thinking Yerima is using INEC to want to stop him from having his people in position. So the crisis is going now. INEC has to be a very, very, not only maybe an umpire with integrity, and must come out straight and say it cannot happen. Reason is this: the state INEC lacks integrity. Most states, they lack integrity. It's the federal INEC that we're all looking up to. But some of these things...
Well, a team is as good as the captain?
Yes, a team is as good as the captain in Nigeria.
Or as bad as the captain?
As a coach.
Citizen, what I want to add is that...
Sorry, let's take this break. I hope the viewer at home is attempting to enjoy his holiday, even as we talk politics in our land this third day of Christmas. We'll take this break and return. All right, folks, we must keep it going. Don't lose it. Party supremacy and the strongman syndrome in Nigeria's politics. Party supremacy versus the strongman syndrome. In the APC, the chairman of the party is trying to assert himself as national leader of the party, as opposed to Mr. President. And at the state level, the party chairman at the state level are trying very hard to assert themselves. So the governor is the be-all and end-all in some states. We have talked about Imo, talked about Ogun State and Zamfara. Let's go back to the national. Dr. Johnson, Adams Oshomole, coming from the school of activism, as a labor leader, wanted to assert himself. It cannot be wrong.
Well, it is important for him to understand that he became the chairman of the party by enjoying the support of the governor. One of the critical structure of the party system which we have in this Fourth Republic is the power of the governors. You recall in 2003, it was said...
National Governors Forum.
Yeah, it was said that the then president had to prostrate for the governors for him to get a second term. You will also recall in 2018, the president wanted direct primaries across the state in APC, and the governors insisted that they should allow them to do it the way they do. So it tells you about the power holder, and they've made the Senate their retirement benefits. Home. So the major problem of this Fourth Republic actually is not the National Assembly, it's not the legislature, it's actually the governors across board. Now, because if you look in terms of controlling the structure of the party, if you look at the crisis we're having across the parties, virtually all the governors are at loggerheads with their National Assembly members.
Sorry, may I just pause you a little? Comrade Ayo is in Oshogbo, Osun State. Comrade, we greet you. Welcome.
Hello, good morning, St. George.
How are you? A Merry Christmas to you.
I wish you same, and good morning to our guest in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
St. Jones, we have an interesting topic this morning. See, while I was not born in the First Republic, neither in the Second Republic, but my dad told me while growing up that in those days, party supremacy, party is supreme. They decide what goes on in the party. But unfortunately, this time around, we are not getting it right. And the problem lies in the fact that majority of our people are test-centered. And we've given too much power to our elective representatives, be it the governor, be it the members of the House of Reps. And this is so because nobody pays dues again. Party member don't pay dues. If you are given a ticket to run for a particular position in the party, you will be the one to go out and look for the money to finance your election. So when you become the governor, you become a member of the Senate or a member of the House of Reps or a chairman of the council, you'll be the one dictating the pace because you are the one who look for the money, who finance your election. And people today are worshiping money more than values and decency and integrity. It doesn't matter. See, you get the ticket of a party because you are ticket. No doubt about it. See, nobody gives a damn about whether you are intelligent or you are brilliant these days now. They give you the ticket because you have the money to finance it and you have deep pockets. So that is the problem we have now. Until we change our orientation, see, the governors are too powerful. And the party who want to checkmate the governor, these people are the ones looking for contracts on the governor, looking for one favor or the other from the governor. So they kowtow to whatever the governor says. So that is the problem we have. Until we change our system, our value system, we will continue to experience this kind of problem. God bless Nigeria.
Bless you too. Gentlemen, we can quickly make a dash for the PDP in Ogun State. You know, it's become a court wahala. Yeah. And Senator Kashamu is insisting, I am, regardless of what the court says.
I am the
But the court could have been kept out of the whole thing from day one.
Yes. Yes. Maybe I want to correct something you said. Oshomole is not a national leader of the APC. Sorry, the president is not a national leader of the APC is Ashiwaju. And so that's another thing again.
It's not in their constitution. It's an anomaly. I've said it over. It's not in, I've read it. It's not in the constitution.
I'm not justifying
It's what people called in Yoruba language. It's for them, get them inserted in the constitution.
But it's more like a joke.
But by operations, by the foundation of the party, no one can dispute the fact that
let's advise our brother here in a test. Make the national leader of the APC the chairman, the national chairman. Outside of the classroom.
In fact, in those days, in the Second Republic, there was no national leader. You had a national chairman. So these are all aliases and informal powers, you know. But going back to what you were saying, Kashamuna is a very strange, one of the strangest situations in Nigeria, where somebody who had, in fact, is a cat with more than 9 lives, with what he has gone through now. And I just wonder, how did it happen that this enigma of a man became the candidate? And now, the ice cream is in his mouth, and someone wants to take it out. And the man is saying no. And the question is, back to what Jide said, we cannot validate these primaries. There are not things like in the US elections where you'll be seeing the votes coming in, and you know that this constituency has come in, they will tell that this area is an urban area full of white-collar people, and the vote is going to be like this, and it turn out like that. Even the primaries in these parties, nobody can vouch for how it came about. Now, Kashamu's case is a bit unique because the court is saying something, and the man is sensing where the court is going to. And this case would drag like Ayogweze, who went all the way to the Supreme Court in Anambra State to fight, and he lost at Supreme Court, and the governor was still put there. Remember the case of Jili's time, when the current Minister of Transportation never contested at all. Are you getting me?
Never campaigned.
Never campaigned
became
at all.
A speaker, became a governor.
Yeah, became a speaker.
Yes, but let me quickly take Yakub is here in Lagos. Yakub, welcome. Greetings to you.
Yeah, good evening, citizens.
Yeah.
And good morning to your guests in the studio. I think we have to do a lot to our electoral system in this country. The only language our system understands is money, 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 money. Why am I saying that? Who is going to question a governor that is collecting over, maybe, if I'm right, like 20 billion monthly for security funds? Who is auditing them? What are they using that money for? Those are the weapons they have in order to make sure that people dance to their tune. Let me give you a typical example. We are talking about Ogun State here. You know, I don't know how the governor of the state is going to do it. Why am I saying that? You head on to party tickets being going to Senate as the APC, and then you bring another party in that same state to contest as a governor. For another party, you're held on to their ticket, you are going to representing them in the Senate. Now, there is somebody representing that Ogun Central in the National Assembly in that party before. Where is this person? Senator Joshua, you collected his ticket. You are representing them. You just want to play a win. You cannot just win. One of your guests said earlier, all those people that make sure that they install people consider them, they end up fighting each other. The fight where it started. I don't know where these people are not learning. Why is it like this? It is only where political party, member of the party, either they pay 100 naira as a party due. We are not going anywhere because of those people. Thank you, God bless you.
Let me also add quickly, Yakub, you don't impugn the system and go scot-free. People who fail to learn from history pay the price twice. And as they say, it's debatable. Dictatorship comes out of democracy. This is the way to a dictatorship.
You know the way we replace dictatorship in democracy is a function of
democracy.
Dictatorship in democracy is called autocracy. And you use the authority of the state. Are you getting my point?
Personal ends.
For personal ends. So what we have is authoritarianism. Exploiting the loopholes within the laws of the state to assert yourself. You know, that's what you see, Ogun State is peculiar because what happened now happened before. What's happening now happened before. With the sitting, it's a recurrent decimal. And it has to show with the kind of structure. And it's same thing with Akwa Ibom. It's same thing with Akwa Ibom. The governor, Victor Atta had issues with
Akpabio.
Akpabio is having issues with other. And like doctors said, people don't learn from history.
Obong Victor Atta was the first to trigger this, look, let power shift.
From one zone to another
zone.
Which we thought was novel, but
it was his son-in-law.
Yeah, he didn't let go.
Like his son-in-law. Like his son-in-law that the Imo State governor is not learning for. That's what I said. What is happening? It's not new. It's not new. If you go across the governors, every one of them will do same across the 30 states.
So as you say, what goes around will
surely come around.
Oh, really?
Now let me go back to how we started this segment. I think the national chairman needs to learn about man management. Activism does not manage parties.
No.
Activism does not manage parties. Now, you see...
Sorry, quickly. To Ilorin, Kwara State, Comrade Olanrewaju is here. Aluta, welcome.
And the guests in the house, I really enjoyed this discussion this morning. But I just want to let the public know that in an attempt for APC as a party to manage the conflict to what we have seen at the present time. If you look at the origin of this movement, it's something that at the beginning, governors, the senators, ministers have differences with the state.
Your voice is breaking.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
This moment.
Sorry. I think we got him from the first word. Still talking about managing crisis, especially at a time like this.
And that's the bane of the party system. Like they say, any house without foundations must fall. And the foundations are never deep. The foundation, because people look
on a faulty foundation.
Yes,
can't stand.
It must fall. Look at how people from MPDP, as we knew then, moved to APC. When it was time to move back to PDP, they moved back. Why? No ideology. Why? No organogram, no way of having a bureaucracy within the party that can be obeyed and listened to. Why? These guys come into the party with their own power, with their own people, and they lodge it. When there's no party democracy, we cannot have a federal democracy. That's the problem. Now, when we go back to Ogun State again, the same problem we have, if you watch the national chairman of APC, he too is a bit erratic. There should be a way in which let the system take care of itself. Put within the system the laws, the party laws, and let this be followed. If you can't, if you find a fault, let there be an immediate panel set up to review it and find somebody guilty and go on. Before you go to the court and everything, the party should be able to resolve it. But the party caucus, the party machinery itself, its hands are dirty. So you find out that everybody gets compromised by the governor. It's who has the money that gets everybody compromised. So that's why you find out that if you notice very carefully, local government elections are do or die affair. Why? These are the delegates.
So some states have not done.
These are the delegates. Because by the time you do elections at local government for party, at local government level, you find out that people you put in power are the ones that become delegates at the end of the day. By the time you have the party structure, trying to get this, look at Lagos State, for instance. We have a wonderful PDP governorship candidate, but there's no PDP on the ground, as it were, in Lagos State. Why? The party itself is not as strong as a person. Now, let me tell you, there's no way the current PDP governorship candidate, if he wins an election, it will be to his own credit. The party did not win it for him. And if he decides to choose his own people at the end of the day, it's going to be his own people.
Dr. Johnson, still in Lagos, we can cite Governor Ambode, as an example of a man who has overcome himself. He has seen the way ahead and has stood the party line.
Because
he had no choice.
Because it's
no,
about
no. Are you saying he had no choice?
No. There are choices. He could have gone to another party. Like
read the handwriting on the wall.
No, like doctor. You see, he could have gone to another party. He could have moved to another party with his own machinery. But he understands the structure and the dynamics of the operations of the party.
Yeah.
That's why Ambode raised his hand. That issue happened in Lagos. It has happened before. It will happen again. It is a systemic problem with our present structure. Until we have a structure whereby issues that relate to state elections are decided at the state level. Because, look, there are 3 governors. That's what I'm talking about, man. 3 governors. And the national are exchanging diatribes on the media. There is a saying in my local diary, it is in your house you eat different type of rats. However, if you come out, you tell them you ate bushmeat.
Yeah.
You eat bushmeat, you ate antelope.
Yeah.
There are some internal management. The parties need to put internal structure to manage crisis. And our political class have not learned that.
And allow the structures to run.
Yeah. Let's bring Abia in at this point. Comrade Okorafor has joined us from Arochukwu. Merry Christmas to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, I greet you.
Good morning, Sir Jones. Happy Christmas to you and to our registrar, deputy registrar.
Let's go.
Honestly, at least, whether it's able to, at least by the grace of God, next dispensation, I think the register them. Now, you see, what we are facing in Nigeria today is that governors have turned the political parties to father and mother affair. That is to say, we see states now, the politics now turn to have that commotion and confusion. You ask yourself, you have spent 8 years, why not comfortably and relax and go? But they will sit down, turn everything upside down. Everybody talking about Tinubu and nobody cares. Now, if I have my way as a political, as chairman, all this, I will just expel them from the party. Because we need internal democracy for any political party. Where there is no internal democracy in any political party, I think we cannot move forward. Nigeria has not done the way its friends are well-wishers. You see that you decide what will happen in a country like ours. Only one person. Because you have the right to come and demolish people's houses. You have the right to hire people, call SSS, call police, detain somebody, try to come before you throw that person into prison. That is why you see all this is happening. Honestly, if a chairman of a political party does not fit well and decide and say this is how the political party, you will see all this commotion, confusion every day, every year in political parties in Nigeria.
Okay.
But it is a high time Nigerian politicians call the space. If you are a senator, face your senatorial job. If you are a governor, face on your, because if you go to run and say 80% of political parties are the states, the governors decided who will be House of Assembly members. Because they have decided who will be they decide who will be a senator, who will be a. That is why you see them turning to be accepted. They have all this. That is rubbish. We are not sure. Now, what is happening in other countries? Does it happen like that? It doesn't happen. Thank you very much, Mr. Oga.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas and Happy New Year to you and to your family and to people in the studio there.
Thank you, folks.
Our registrar, I salute you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Can I just say something?
Yeah,
very quick?
okay.
What he said is very instructive. The governors also decide the chairmanship of the party. So
At
the
the state
governors,
level?
at the state level. The governor, you said something about the Nigerian Governors Forum and now the party structure at the federal level sort of toes the line of the Governors Forum, which our friend in Imo State was chairman, was in PDP chairman now, the Governors Forum. Now, Sarakitu was chairman of Governors Forum. They even had the secretariat at the time and had complete paraphernalia. Now, back in the state level too, the governor is interested in who becomes chairman of the party in the state. The governor becomes interested in who becomes the various treasurer and everything in the party in the state. So the governor's influence permeates all these things through local government elections. I give you an example of Lagos State. Why did the sitting governor give up? He had seen the handwriting on the wall from the delegates' turnout. Initially, he was resisting it. Now, who controls those delegates? That's where we have still the manipulative power of this. Now, back to what we were saying before. Until the party machinery in itself divorces the power of the governor from the power of the chairman of the party. And let the governor of the state...
We'll come to that shortly.
Yeah.
Ayuba is reaching us from Damaturi in faraway Yobe State. How do you do, sir? Welcome.
Dam.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, welcome. Let's go. Ayuba, are we in business?
Hello?
Go on.
Hello?
All right, we can't, Jide, quickly, is it too late in the day to do anything?
It's not too late, and that's why people talk about structuring. Structuring, talk about putting about structures in place. The present
Do you
structure...
import the restructuring thing?
The structure we have in place,
Yeah.
it's an authoritarian structure, whereby the power comes from Abuja. In the federating units, power comes from the federating unit to the top. But our own is an anomaly. It's the national chairman that determines who will represent me in the State House of Assembly. He does not know my constituency. He does not know my area. We, the people, should decide that. People at the state level should decide that. And the national chairman should have control over what happens at the national level. And INEC...
Don't you think this is what Comrade Oshomole is trying to do?
No, he's doing it from the national. And INEC should monitor the election. They are empowered to monitor the election. They should be able to write their report that this primary actually took place or not. We have seen cases where INEC we sent two different teams to monitor rival congresses. Rival congress. I think INEC as an umpire needs to wake up to his responsibility.
Jide, are you fair about that comment?
I think INEC as an umpire...
No. Are you fair about
that comment?
That INEC has sent... Say, let's talk about Zamfara State. INEC says categorically you had no primaries.
Let's go to Imo State. I'll take you to Imo State.
Okay, take me there.
Now, the Imo State, the primaries that took place in Imo State and Ogun State, that of Amosu's primary and Okorocha's primary, even though I'm not in support of the way they went about conducting themselves in terms of imposing their successor, INEC witnessed the primaries. The
party did not raise objection.
INEC witnessed the primaries.
And did not raise objection.
The National Working Committee of the party members witnessed the primaries.
And did not raise objection.
To those primaries.
We'll go back to Ogun State. Yakub is in Ido Oshuama. Did I get that right? Idosi, yeah. Welcome, sir. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go on.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Go on.
You see, I want to talk about the party supremacy. The party supremacy is supposed to be done. Look at what has happened in Ogun State. Hello?
Okay, go on, sir.
Look at what has happened in Ogun State here. The Amosu, the National Party, is telling us that when you like to choose direct primary or indirect primary, choose one you like and send it to the national body. And at the end of the day, the indirect primary is choosing Amosu as a Senate. Right, the indirect primary does not decide the governor alike. Why why is not send the information from Ghana to follow the rules and the regulation of the party?
All right.
Huh?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Could it be that
Dr. Boyo, we must begin to
could
wind
it be
down.
that the country is too big for INEC? Because I find that when it comes to these primaries of a thing, INEC stumbles and falters. Because if
too big in terms of population or size?
In terms of size. I'm managing
size or population?
I'm talking about both. Because in managing primaries...
I would have loved to take you to India, but go on.
In managing primaries, you're talking about 36 states with various other, with various parties in each state, like 3 or 4 strong parties in each state. You have to be present at their primaries. You have to make sure the primaries are well conducted. Because part of the problem we're having now is INEC is not able to put its foot down and say,
as the referee,
even though it was not right for Okorocha to pick his son-in-law, this is the result of the election in Imo State. Not going back to Uzodimma, this is the result of the election in Imo State. I will stand by it. Then the party doesn't have to come in again. INEC has supervised the voting process.
And you expect the strong man in a particular state to cave in?
No, in this case, the strong man is in support of what INEC said. INEC, in some of the states, INEC said, this guy won.
But strong man in that
I think what to lend credence to what he's saying, I think we need to stagger it. If you look at one of the beauty of the 1992 presidential primary, staggering in the sense that if you look at the volume, he's talking about the volume of work and the resource. INEC does not have the resource in terms of personnel to monitor. So we could have the primaries
in the southwest,
and INEC deploy all its resources to monitor it. So because the critical factor, the foundation for democratic society is the party system.
But let me make one thing very, very clear here. INEC said primaries across the board would have been between August 18 and October 7.
And they advised the party. They could advise the party. They could advise the party. They could approach the National Assembly for us to legislate on these things. Because building a system requires recurrent changes. All right. And I think these are the issues we should address in the night legislative assembly.
We cannot, but thank you very kindly for
it's a pleasure.
Dr. Omadele Boyo, enjoy the remaining days of your Christmas.
Yes, thank you very much.
Make the most of them.
Yes.
Dr. Jide Johnson, enjoy what's left of your Christmas.
My phone is available, citizen. Thank you.
All right. The viewer must understand this, and it is one short advice to the politician. Please do not take politics too seriously. You may not come out of it alive. I'm out of here. There's another program tomorrow. Merry Christmas one more time.